To be honest with you guys, I'm really kind of tired of making Terminator Dark Fate videos. But however, every day we seem to get more news about this movie. And it seems like Tim Miller really doesn't get the point of why this movie failed. He doesn't. Even Edward Furlong did not agree with killing off John Connor at the beginning of the movie. This movie was a mess from the beginning. And this next article we're going to talk about here pretty much confirms that overall. Tim Miller directed Terminator Dark Fate. He did a terrible job, by the way, of directing this movie. He doesn't get the core reason why this movie has failed. You know, he even came out, months before the movie came out, and he said that Grace would scare the F out of misogynists. Didn't help the movie whatsoever. And now he is saying this. He was asked a question about female writers on the movie, and there weren't any female writers. He actually believes that female writers on this movie probably could have made a difference. So let's kind of dive into what he had to say, and I will give you my take on what he said. Now, he had an interview with the Business Podcast, and this is what this article says, courtesy of CBR.com. It says, when asked by the Business Podcast about whether he should have hired more women for the script, Tim Miller said, yes, you're right. You're probably right. Although I will say that at the time we had the scripts, it wasn't three female leads. It was a blank slate. So you mean to tell me just because this movie had three female leads that it needed a female to actually write the scripts just because there were female leads in the movie? I mean, I just don't get that. Now, there were 6 writers on this movie, one of them actually being James Cameron. James Cameron, the man that created Terminator, the man that created all things Terminator, who knows the material inside and out, left and right better than anybody, male or female. And you mean to tell me that just by getting a few more female writers on this, it would have made a difference? No, it wouldn't have. The movie, the story was crap. They wet the bed with this so badly. And to tell you the truth, going into the movie, I didn't really know who was writing the movie. If it was females, oh well, the story was still going to be bad. It wouldn't have made a difference. James Cameron is the keeper of all things Terminator. He knows everything. Now, just for reference here, James Cameron, David Goyer, Justin Rhodes, Charles E. Elgie, Josh Friedman, and Billy Ray. That's the writers on this movie. To me, that is way too many writers on a movie. I mean, if you had James Cameron really only needs to be the only one writing. Maybe 2 people. But you had 6 people. There's an old saying in economics. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen. And when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, you don't get a good meal. Same thing with Terminator Dark Fate right here. Tim Miller is obviously clueless about everything. No matter what, even if they got just one female writer, they were planning on killing off John Connor at the beginning of the movie. It wouldn't have made a difference. They rehashed Terminator 1, Terminator 2. They didn't give us anything new. So what female writer would have came in? What would they have done different? I don't know. But the story elements still would have been the same. This is a movie that should have never been made. I mean, James Cameron is a writer on this movie. He created Sarah Connor. In Terminator 2, Sarah Connor was one of the best action heroes of all time. He wasn't a woman. He wrote the story. He wrote, directed, produced it, and it was perfect. It's one of the almost perfect movies ever made. But now in today's age, I think Tim Miller is really just trying to make excuses as to why this movie failed so badly, and his personal clash with James Cameron. And he pretty much said that he has no plans whatsoever to work with James Cameron again. So it is what it is at this point. I guess every day we're going to continue to get more excuses as to why this movie failed. But Hollywood still does not get it. When you have way too many identity politics in movies, it's going to fail. Every single movie that got woke, that got into identity politics, has failed. Maybe not a financial fail, but from a storytelling standpoint, from what the audience thinks of the movie, they failed. Terminator Dark Fate needed new creative ideas, and it didn't have any. James Cameron was over here doing his own thing with Avatar. That was what he wanted to do. He had no interest in Terminator whatsoever. And to tell you the truth, Skydance, David Ellison, he wet the bed so hard with Terminator Genesis. The movie was so bad, and he's still in control of this movie right here. That's another reason why this movie was bad. It wasn't because it didn't have enough women writers. It's because Skydance was still in control coming off of Terminator Genesis. There was no creative innovation in this movie whatsoever. I didn't like it. It actually may be worse than Terminator Genesis, even though I've said that it is better than Terminator Genesis, but that's not really saying much at all. But guys, what do you think of this? Tim Miller still does not get it. He thinks that female writers probably could have made a difference on Terminator Dark Fate. I highly disagree with this, but maybe you don't. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.